You're watching the 2023 SCAC Fall Media Days. Today, we're taking a dive into the Texas Lutheran University men's soccer program. The Bulldogs will once again be led by head coach Eddie Salazar, along with junior defender Jack Manke. Coach, Jack, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
Coach, we'll get started with you. Heading into your 18th season as the head coach of this Bulldogs program, the winningest coach in program history. You're an alum. You've played for this team. What does preseason look like for you? Having gone through this a number of times, how do you as a coach and a coaching staff get prepared for a preseason? And what is it that continues to burn your fire, that brings back that energy year in and year out?
Yeah, well, the first part that has to do with the coaching staff preparation, we just continue to learn year after year of how we can, make little adjustments that can get us, a little bit better as we continue to grow the roster, as we continue to, just take further steps with our leadership team, take further steps, obviously, with the progress of the program and everything that we do, not just on the field, but really just getting it together as a staff and working together so we can have these guys prepared and have everything kind of rolling as smoothly as possible. With all of the new factors that continue to pop up year after year, in regards to just the staying on it and 18 seasons. I mean, it's just what the passion really gets fueled by these guys. It really it's a very simple thing for me that we work hard to recruit the right people and they don't disappoint. They allow us to come to work, every day and really enjoy what we do because, it's a bit boring in the summertime whenever it's just us as a staff. But once these boys get back in and we're all together again, that's what really, it doesn't make it feel like 18 years. They bring a lot of youth and energy into all this. And that really helps me. And I would imagine our coaching staff as a whole, just be able to provide the energy that they need.
Jack, you're coming into this season having been such a huge part of the defensive effort last year that was really record-setting for this program. Less than a goal a game, goals against average a season ago, second best goals against average in program history. How do you continue that trend this year? What defensively worked really well for this group, and how do you try to build off of that going into this season?
I think obviously, yeah, it's something we definitely stress in preseason and throughout the season as well. But it really just comes down to trust and, being the group of guys that we are. We've kind of been around each other for a good amount of time now. And so that trust is just building more and more. So it just helps us defensively and keeps us nice and calm under pressure. But absolutely, we're definitely, want to keep that going.
Coach, as you look at this group, what are some of the biggest challenges you feel like you may face heading into this year? And what are some of its greatest, attributes and assets that you feel with this team heading into 2023?
Yeah, I think it's the same for both answers in terms of challenges and assets. It really just comes down to our leadership. And for me, it's more of the challenge for me to keep trying to get these guys together and put together what it takes to help, integrate the new faces and, bring the second years back up to speed. We have a lot of juniors and seniors in the group and they're very well, adjusted to what the expectations are and what comes their way. And so me trying to help them with trying to be a better leader, that's a challenge for me personally, I would say. But then the asset comes with these guys just working so hard, man, to really better themselves, man, every single day. And you see it with them. They continue to stick together and they continue to push each other. And with that, we've seen a lot of growth that has come from from the last couple of seasons. And we have a lot of these guys that they're still going to have a couple of seasons left that there's such a massive influence to what we do on the field, off the field, in the community, everything that has to do with our program again, so massive asset that we have is, again, these group of guys and just the people that they are, just a big testament to that. And then again, that challenge is I got to step my game up, so I can be a better leader for our leaders.
Jack, you've been such a big part soccer-wise, really since day one, since you just stepped onto campus there in Seguin, going all the way back to your first year, an all-conference performer, and your previous 3 seasons, as I mentioned, coming off, maybe your most successful last year in first team All-SCAC. But Coach talked about the leadership, and that's a role I'm sure you've kind of grown into over the course of your time. How have you seen your role change within this group? Maybe not so much specifically soccer-wise, but from a leadership standpoint, and have you embraced that coming into this year?
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that I very much cherish and am honored to kind of take on for this team. Coming in as a freshman, I wasn't necessarily expecting something like that, and I kind of just did my thing and focused on being the best I could be as a person, setting the best example for the team. And I think that's just kind of how I'm going to continue that going forward. I think first and foremost, I just want to set the best example I can for these guys coming in, but also just really just proud to kind of represent TLU soccer, especially as a leader of this team, and just have a great group of guys around me to make my job a lot easier. And so I'm very thankful for that as well.
Coach, wrapping things up with you, I think as I look at this schedule, one of the things that stuck out to me is similar to last year, this opening weekend, you're taking this team on a big road trip. Last year, you went out to the East Coast. This year, headed out to California. As you put together a schedule, what can an opening weekend like this do for this team in terms of, you're not going to be able to accomplish your major goals, obviously, in the opening weekend, but I would imagine you can take pretty significant smaller steps when it's just the guys. You learn a lot about this team. Preseason goes quickly, and to get off of campus, just be with the team. I know you're wanting things to go well soccer-wise too, but what do you want to get out of an opening weekend like this with just your team and trying to build that camaraderie early on?
Yeah, definitely. You said it, Russell. The thing that we learned from last year has to do with everything that comes with the experience off the field. And everybody who's been a part of it, I remember you back, you remember back to your playing days of just whenever you are on the road, when you're in the hotels, you're having certain conversations, you're in the restaurants, you're able to display the behaviors that we expect to be displaying in the airports, in the restaurants, in the hotel lobbies, and be able to get the feedback from strangers who are looking at these group of good young men, as they would say, being very respectful for their surroundings and mindful. And so whenever we can put all of the principles that we live by in our program, that we really push in our program, when we can put those in action and we can all model the behaviors that we expect to see from not just our leaders, but everybody that gets the opportunity to get on that plane, and get to move around. That's a very good opportunity for us to continue to grow and and show that this is a place where we need to be. So obviously we're playing two very good teams on the road, and we're going to get that experience. But again, there's just a lot of learning that goes in. If you zoom out a little bit more, we've got our first 7 games on the road, so we've got ourselves plenty of opportunities to get ourselves in hotels and to get ourselves comfortable in opponents' environments. But beyond the field, I feel like, again, these guys are ready for it. I feel like these guys are more than deserving of these sort of opportunities. And on top of that, obviously, it just shows whenever we get into preseason and we see these guys who are up for it. It makes our job difficult to choose that travel squad in a large group, because even before the trip happens and we're able to, like I said, get the behaviors that we want to see on the road and out in public, representing TLU the way we want to. We've got guys who have a target, and we've got a lot of competition coming in, and so that really just helps out with just the vibe and the energy that's required to start a season, sustain, and then obviously finish a season.
And finally, Jack, wrapping things up, as you've sort of closed your eyes and thought about a successful season heading into 2023, what does that look like? What are some of the goals that you have, not only for yourself individually, but for this team as well?
I mean, I think individually, I'd obviously like to continue the upward trend I've set for myself as an individual, but first and foremost, it's all about the team success. And I feel that my individual accolades, et cetera, are just a byproduct of the team success. Obviously, we want to be competing at the top of our conference as well as the national level. And I think we absolutely have a squad that can do that this year.
2023 CLU men's soccer program. Again, the Bulldogs will head into the 2023 season, as we mentioned, under the guidance of head coach Eddie Salazar, along with junior defender Jack Manke. The Bulldogs will open up the 2023 campaign on the road at Occidental September 1st. Coach Jack, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you for having us.